Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever it is in the world you are streaming. Once again, the exposure is a little different tonight, but that's okay. We still one more day until we get the new computer in-house. But for now, it's time for another edition of Late Night with Wob. I wasn't going to go live tonight, but considering how that Rockets and Lakers game ended and the Wembanyama injury, as well as the Tyrese Maxey show, I felt like we had enough to do it. And I also just won an incredible bet that is worthy of cracking a beer. So this is how my night went, just for those of you that care. And shout out to our friends at ProfitX here, who I will give a little love to start off the show as we welcome in everybody. But this is my night before we even start talking about hoops, just so you know. That's worthy of the beer. Let's all take as my friend Chris Wormy says on the pre-race poll on Sundays. Take it a pull. Okay. Celebratory beer, because I had Rui Hachimura at the beginning of the fourth quarter. He had 4 total rebounds, and predicting that JJ Redick was going to play him the entire fourth quarter tonight, and I was correct. I was hoping he might be able to stumble into 1 because the live over-under was set at 4.5. He goes 11 minutes and 52 seconds in the fourth quarter without getting a rebound, despite a couple of opportunities. And then the ball shanks off the rim with 5 seconds left off of some bullshit 3, and it ends up in his lap when he didn't even go to try to get the rebound. He was standing near half court, and the ball, just like a red shell in Mario Kart, happened to find him. And I somehow won that bet. Okay, and I was rage tilting because I was going to take the Portland Trailblazers 5-1 down by 4 points with 3 minutes left, and I fucking balked. So I made something of this night, thankfully, but cheers to a hard-earned victory as I'm out here grinding like the rest of you. Shout out to ProfitX for being our source for all of your sports investing. All right. Oh, the Lakers chalice. Wait a second. I forgot about the Lakers chalice. They won. A bad shirt choice at a time like this. Well, Jacob deGrom was never a bad choice, but the Mets are fucking terrible. Wait a second. I promised a Lakers chalice. Oh, I'm so unprepared. I'm sorry about that. Will you guys afford me the opportunity to just wash it out real quick and come back in 1 second? Because you're right. I have to follow through. Stay with me. That's right. After a victorious evening such as this, we drink from the Lakers chalice of life. I don't have the music because my computer's broken. Hum. It doesn't taste as good as out of the can. I was never really a out of a pint glass kind of guy. But the Lakers chalice of life makes its return to Late Night with Wob after a long absence. Can you believe this team has a 2-0 series lead? 2-0 series lead with a bunch of zombies running around. DeAndre Ayton got benched tonight for Jackson Hayes. Oh, the chalice of life. The chalice of life tastes so good. All right. So wait, real quick, let's talk about that fourth quarter. So Jake LaRavia looked like he had a non-contact injury. Did you guys see that? He stepped and planted on the floor, and it looked like he blew out his calf or something. I hope that was not an Achilles, but he had to come out of the game right away. Marcus Smart came back onto the floor. 4 total second half, and Kevin Durant's under somehow cashed too, 23.5. 4 total second half shots for Kevin Durant. And that was not from a choice of like, I'm not ready for the moment or any of that bullshit. Nor was he injured. He looked just fine tonight. He's probably in a little bit of pain, but he was up for the challenge. And the Lakers, like they did in those 2 national television games where they played a baseball series in Houston. One of those games was on Amazon Prime, one was on ESPN, maybe one was on NBC. You guys remember that from a couple of months ago. And the way that they defended Kevin Durant in the final 9 minutes or so, they wore their defense like a sign around their neck. Rui Hachimura was the primary assignment on Amen Thompson. And any time that there was screening action for Kevin Durant, JJ Redick invited that. Whether it was Marcus Smart or Rui Hachimura, they would switch off the guy who was screening to send a second body at Kevin Durant. And I would be so incredibly frustrated if I was a Houston Rockets fan watching this, because you're trying to get Kevin Durant the basketball, and it feels like the only opportunity we can is if he's standing at the logo because the defense is entrenched otherwise. But every fucking time, it's a dribble handoff that is the equivalent of a live grenade. They don't complete that dribble handoff until 8-9 seconds left on the shot clock. And then when he finally gets it, after having to like cut, stop, pivot, reset, then go get the ball, then the Lakers send the second body. He has been terrible this season. Kevin Durant has been terrible passing through those double teams. That like frozen rope laser that he threw from the top of the arc that hit Luke Kennard's fingertips and Tari Eason's fingertips. He couldn't pass out of those double teams in Houston. He can't pass out of the double teams now. It's just over the top telegraphed bullshit. And then he's becomes irrelevant for the rest of the play. It is just so fascinating to me, one, that a very obvious Laker defense is so effective, and two, that the Houston Rockets can't get him the basketball anywhere within the three-point arc. Why is he running around the perimeter? You're telling me if he planted his ass down on the block, him or Şengün, you know what? We know Şengün likes to operate at the elbow or the free throw line, right? That's where the hub is usually located. What is stopping Kevin Durant from putting his hand up into the sky and saying, lob it, or I'm going to get actual front positioning on a smaller defender like Rui Hachimura? You can't leave an Amen Thompson on the other side of the floor, not because he's going to hit you with a punish three out of the corner, but he can slash and make all the use of the space that he has. I would be pulling my hair out watching Kevin Durant stand there with his hands on his hips, waiting for this Princeton-style offense where you just run a weave of dribble handoffs to finally get him the rock. And when he gets possession of it, you only have 6 seconds left for him to do something impossible that even Kevin Durant can't complete. How archaic is this Rockets offense and stagnant? How? I understand they don't have shooting, but that just because this team doesn't have shooting, the Detroit Pistons don't have shooting. The Orlando Magic don't have shooting. And their offense doesn't look like this. Even Orlando's doesn't look like this. How have they not found a way with the lack of shooting to force feed the basketball? It's not as if the Los Angeles Lakers are setting up a wall reminiscent of what the Miami Heat and the Toronto Raptors did to Giannis Antetokounmpo, where they're just packing the paint and daring everyone to take wide open shots. They're not doing that. The Lakers were scrambling and closing out against shooters, quite honestly, that they really don't need to, but it's still, they were doing it and it still worked regardless. Well, why? Like, they don't stand a chance of getting an open look at the rim. And let's not act like Mr. Oven Mitt DeAndre Ayton down there is providing any sense of Victor Wembanyama rim defense. Jackson Hayes was playing his ass off, but nobody's looking over their shoulder against those two. You got one of the most elite slashers and finishers in the game in Amin Thompson. You're supposed to have a somewhat knockdown guy in Jabari Smith that deems the respect. There should be plenty of spacing for Kevin Durant to not have to leave the three-point line to go north of it, outside of the electric fence. I almost want to put a collar on him with an electric shocker like you train a dog in a lawn or a yard. Why are you receiving the basketball 35 feet away from the rim for an entire half of a playoff game? That was supposed to be something we figured out at the end of the regular season, which the Houston Rockets did. When they were winning games there at the end of April, Kevin Durant was getting downhill, full momentum, as if he was Denny Avdia, getting into the paint without the basketball. The way to get him open was without the basketball, not him going to retrieve it. It's not Shadow from Homeward Bound. I don't even know what that movie analogy is. I'm sorry. But why did they get away? Listen, Kevin Durant has stood at the logo before with someone draped all over him, and then they set a high ball screen with someone other than Alperen Şengün that creates just enough space that you can hit Kevin Durant as he's slashing through the paint. And even if he doesn't, he will just stop and reset on the block, and then you can entry pass to him. I want to go through the tape of the second half and show you guys how many times he is running east-west as opposed to north-south. It's like in football when you get mad at a running back. Why are you not just hitting the hole, falling forward, and giving us 3 yards? Edgerrin James back in the days. Do you guys remember Edgerrin James from the University of Miami and with the Indianapolis Colts? That guy played forever in the NFL because he fell forward every single time that he touched the football and gave the Colts an extra 2 yards, despite not really breaking off anything like Reggie Bush. He just fell forward 4 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards every time. Why can't Kevin Durant just fall forward or do the basketball equivalent of? What am I missing that it looks so difficult against these Laker defenders of Hachimura, Kennard, Smart, and a 41-year-old LeBron James and DeAndre Ayton? Let's not act like they got the San Antonio Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder out there. What's wrong with the audio? Testing 1, 2, 3. What's wrong with the audio? Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. You guys can still hear me, but my mouth is not matching the voice. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. So here's what we'll do. Hold on. We did this last time. Let me just do this. There's always going to be tech issues until I get my new computer. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see if this works. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see if this works. Did that work? Was it any better? I don't really know what else to do if this doesn't work. I don't really know what else to do if this doesn't work. I don't really know what else to do if this doesn't work. Okay. I can try restarting. Give me a second. I'm going to restart the camera. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. Give me 15 seconds here. I don't know why it worked so well yesterday, but not tonight. Testing 1, 2, 3. Chat, y'all are starting to piss me off. Like, restart the stream. What the fuck do you think I'm doing? I'm trying to test shit out. The echo is nuts because I'm trying to listen to it. Chat, y'all are starting to piss me off. Jesus Christ. Give me a second. I'll be right back. I get it's delayed. I'm trying to fix it. I was in the middle of my little basketball rant. Now you ruined it. Configure. I'm going to quit camera. I'll be right back. I'm going to quit Camera Hub and see if this works. Did that work? Okay. I reset the audio and I reset the camera. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to deal with lag, or I'm gonna have to switch to the. Okay. I reset the audio and I reset the camera. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to deal with lag, or I'm gonna have to switch. I have a MacBook. Why am I so dark now? Maybe this will actually work. Hold on. Hate this fucking bullshit. Trying to talk basketball over here, and technology just continues to handicap me like the Rockets offense. I got it. The stream is also lagging on YouTube. I got it. Thanks, Chad. This might work. Hold on. I was cooking, and now I'm interrupted, and I'm getting flustered on a night where I'm supposed to be celebrating my victory. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Why is the audio just not synced up? I just don't get it. Whatever. It's always something is fucking broken. Anyway, well, I'll just talk. You guys can still hear me. It's just going to be a hard watch. You know what? Here, I have an idea. I'm just going to go into a double box, and I'm going to make myself small. There has to be a lag option on here. Does anyone know how to use Elgato Camera Hub from 2020? This isn't even OBS. There's no lag. There's no delay. I can try one more thing, people. One more thing before. Let's try this. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Okay, that's better. It's not going to look great, but beggars can't be choosers. You got to lower the quality of the video now for me to have my audio in sync. Okay, where were we? I switched cameras to the super old MacBook one that's built into the computer versus the Elgato that I plugged in. Now, where were we? Okay. Where were we? Rockets offense. Does that all make sense? And then on the Lakers side, you got LeBron James out there cradle rocking. You have LeBron James finishing like it's 2015. Luke Kennard continues to get open as a result. Who else thrived? The Rui Hachimura dribble pull-up midi was huge. The fadeaway. What else? They are leaving Jared Vanderbilt more open than they left open Ben Simmons. That ball. Wait, can someone confirm this? Did you guys see that shot that he missed at the shot clock buzzer? That missed the backboard by about like 5 feet. Was that deflected? Or did it slip? That ball missed by 5 feet. And the one he almost made, you could see the bench like jumping and like, oh, please just give him this one. I can't believe how open. They're not even looking his way, let alone paying attention to him. No, Laravia's was worse because he blew out something in his leg. He was hobbling around. He was trying to get out. And then the whistle wouldn't blow for like 45 seconds, and he shot that three on one leg. Oh, the smart corner three. Yeah, the Lakers get. How are they up? How is that team up 2-0 in a playoff series against anyone? What is so funny about this matchup is both teams wanted each other. Both teams, the Rockets wanted the Lakers and the Lakers wanted the Rockets. Usually there's the obvious, like, oh, this is not a great matchup for one side. They both were the ideal matchup for the other. And they're up 2-0. And this series does not begin until the road team wins a game. So that can't happen until we come back to Los Angeles for at least game 5, which is going to be sometime next week, I think. Yeah, and I hedged like a fucking asshole because as soon as the KD news was announced, I had the Lakers plus 400 in the series, and then I hedged them off at like 250 and 275, and I could have hedged it like 185. I'm free rolling for a lot of money, but fuck. Şengün. It is not a Şengün is a bad player conversation. Şengün is used he is in the wrong spot to be a hub. Why is he running block to block and underneath the baseline? That should be a Men Thompson spot. Why is Alperen Şengün not living at the free throw line? That's where all hubs start and initiate offense, at the free throw line. For him to put the ball above his head, turn face. He has a flat-footed jump shot too, so he can just pump fake, get guys up in the air. He's a great passer. He's a great initiator. And they have him down there like for tip slams and shit. And if it's not down there, he's outside the three-point line setting pointless screens where his man just leaves him because no one is going to guard Alperen Şengün lining up for a three-pointer right now as his percentages dip down into the 20s. Jackson Hayes brought some energy tonight to the point that JJ went with him instead of DeAndre Ayton to close out the game. And that was another. I was like, God, there are these times when DeAndre is so disconnected from the game and the energy. JJ can pick up on it, and he pulls the plug faster on him than anyone on the team. And DeAndre did not have it tonight. And I should have sniffed out that he was going to be taken out the 3 minutes when he came back in at the 9-minute mark in the fourth. His ass was out of there. Jackson Hayes brought some heat. That N1 that he had, that got the Laker crowd going. And now all of a sudden they're going to start to believe. They won't win a single game against Oklahoma City, but they have a chance to win a series in which you know what? I'm going to have to stick to my word. I said before the series, and I said this on Sirius XM too, of all places. I said if LeBron James somehow wins this series, because it should have been such a massacre, at least on paper, if he somehow wins this series against Kevin Durant, I'm going to have to make him my GOAT. I'm going to have to make him my GOAT. There's no way this Laker team should be winning games. And I understand it's just a first-round series, man, but the usage that is being required from him, if I were to go to NBA.com right now and look at some of the advanced stats, Something tells me that LeBron James is going to be at the top of the chart when it comes to usage. If the advanced analytics are available, let's find out, actually. Oh, this will only take about 45 seconds to load. At least we get to look at Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. Oven Mitts Ayton. Oven Mitts Ayton. Tell me the last time that he has caught an entry pass to the post cleanly. And this is what JJ was complaining about. Like, he's like, the dude can't catch. No shit. The guy cannot catch. Looks like hot hands from Little Giants. We're almost there, people. Advanced. Bingo. LeBron James, usage percentage of 34.5. Can you guys see this? Here, I'll zoom in. 34.5 for LeBron James. Those are numbers that he was probably putting up with the 2007 Cavs and the 2015 Cavs. 34.5. That means that more than 1/3 of the possessions with the direct result was from LeBron James, one way or another. To compare that, that's about the number, even a little bit more than Russell Westbrook's triple-double average season with the Washington Wizards. Who was next? So 23.7. Let's go to the starting five. I'm going to assume this is Luke Kennard or Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart. Bro, LeBron was a plus 6.7 net rating. Look at DeAndre Ayton, bro. Look at DeAndre Ayton's net rating. The rest of the team, with the exception of Rui in the black, you are a minus 10. Jesus, man. LeBron James on April 21st, 2026, just gave us a 34.5 usage percentage. He's going to have to be my GOAT. If he wins a series at this level, because after game one, I quite honestly thought I've never seen him look so old. He still put up a decent box score. He got a W, but the man could hardly jump. He wasn't taking over offensively. He was deferring. He was on his standard regular season minutes plan. But tonight, he's out there cradle rocking. He's practically the point guard, the table setting guard, the shooting guard, the scoring guard, the rebounder. Yeah, I think he finished with 8 rebounds tonight too. He did fucking everything. That 3-pointer that he hit with Jayshawn Tate wrapping up his arm in the first quarter, and then he caught Şengün on a mismatch at the top of the arc, drilled some shit in his face, was barking point blank from his eyes, and then they zoomed in on Kevin Durant sitting over there in his little get off my Dickerson hoodie. You know he's in the DMs tonight. The matter is just where. What else? Questions, chat. Talk to me. Let me take some questions before. Do you have anything about Wemby? So let's talk timetable while I wait for your questions. So he's going into the concussion protocol. The good news is he's not allowed to do any basketball activities for 48 hours. They have the extra day because of travel. So he technically could return for their next game, but usually the concussion protocol in recovery is going to put him in a game 5, between game 5 and game 7, depending on the severity of the concussion. Concussions are fucking delicate. Like, they're all different, right? It affects people in different ways, especially someone who's 7'5". So there is a chance that we may not see Victor Wembanyama back for this series. And we're tied going back to Portland in the land of Dundon. Where do you think the Blazers are right now? because I know they're not flying back to Oregon. They're taking the Oregon Trail. You guys seen the show 1883 on Paramount, the spinoff of Yellowstone? They're on that trail right now from San Antonio back to Oregon. Tom Dundon's not paying for no damn plane. Have you seen gas prices? Have you seen how much a plane ticket costs? He's not paying for that shit. Y'all walk back. Anyone who makes it back can play. You guys been keeping up with what's going on and all of his cost-cutting measures? He's even talking about getting rid of the mascot. Yeah, they're on a Greyhound. I feel like I'm watching a scene out of the movie Major League, where she's just begging for them to lose so they don't meet the stadium capacity number and they get to move the team to Miami or whatever. They went out there and won that game tonight. Scoot Henderson looked like the Scoot Henderson against Victor Wembanyama in Henderson, Nevada, where the G League was playing against Mets 90s. What was his French team? That game was on ESPN2 in the middle of the day for like no reason. Hardly anyone in the arena. And it was Scoot versus Wemby. And Scoot in that first quarter took it to that motherfucker. Where did this Scoot Henderson come from? He's hooping right now. Y'all ready to do a 2023 redraft? If the Portland Trailblazers somehow win this series because that dude's dropping 30 every single night, are you ready for the redraft episode? You taking Scoot or you taking Wemby? The chalice of life tastes delicious after another Laker victory. 2 victories that I did not see coming. I thought this would be a sweep. But boy, as a Laker season ticket holder, as well as someone that bet them to win the series, after the Kevin Durant news, I'm feeling pretty good right now. You guys remember that game in the chat? Mets 92 versus Ignite? Scoot Henderson, fearless in that game, and he's fearless yet again. So they're down by 4. This was what I was complaining about at the top of the show. When they're down by 4 with roughly 3 minutes left, I think the score was 101-97, and Scoot Henderson, Tumani Kamara goes into a jump ball against Devin Vassell. What happened there that both of them missed and then the ball landed in Tumani's hands? Shouldn't that be Spurs basketball? Or do you they redid it because the referee said it was a bad toss. But I think if you whiff and you grab it, that should have been Spurs basketball. Anyway, they go again. Tumani Kamara wins the tip, and Scoot Henderson hits a fucking nails tough 3. Do we need to say the quiet part out loud right now? I'm going to get another beer. This shit's making me feel good talking about this game. Do we need to say the quiet part out loud? The San Antonio Spurs looked like the Toon Squad without Jordan in that final 3 minutes. What happened to the clutch player of the year in De'Aaron Fox? They couldn't get a look to save their lives when the game slowed down into the half court. You have heard me say a million times, but in case anyone is watching this, the regular season is one sport. The playoffs is a different sport, and then the final 5 minutes in the clutch is a third different sport. And that's because it's all officiated differently. And the way that the defense gets back in everything, you have to grind out possessions or have a star that can make some tough shots. That's why we prioritize teams that usually get them, like the Celtics and the Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're getting wide open looks, layups, and free throws, while your team is relying on Kevin Durant, live grenade, hero ball. Watching Steph Castle airball that 3 he took forever. What the fuck? What in the Marcus Camby was going on in that corner? Shoot the fucking ball, bro. He took an eternity. He got closed out on, and then it got swatted. They're leaving him open on purpose. And I'm sorry if you're new to this stream. I'm going to say it again, but if you're not, I apologize. But every former NBA player that I produce content with says the same thing. In today's game, these offensive players are so talented that you have to essentially choose what you're willing to concede, what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to acquiesce to. You have to pick something. Tonight, the Los Angeles Lakers were sending a double team at Kevin Durant because they were willing to give up threes to Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, Jayshawn Tate. It didn't matter. We're willing to give you that to stop something else. Against the San Antonio Spurs, every team seems to be willing to live with Steph Castle being open beyond the arc. Now, he, like Amen Thompson, does a really good job of occupying that open space, slashing, and his timing is awesome. Because if you slash too early, then you're just standing down there and clogging up the toilet. But when he has to catch and shoot, it's a fucking problem. And the Spurs got a dose of playoff basketball tonight. As first, Harrison Barnes, I thought, broke his wrist. The way he reached for his wrist, I was like, oh, he's done. He went straight to the locker room for an x-ray. He did come back out to the huddle, and I haven't heard anything about it, so he might be okay. Dylan Harper ends up jamming that thumb as he tries to run through a screen from Donovan Clingan, who's a fucking wall. He runs into it. He may have busted up his finger. Everyone's all sorts of banged up now. Victor Wembanyama's out with a concussion. And now the Spurs are faced with having to make some tough shots from guys that are not used to being in this spot. We're watching Devin Vassell off the dribble when he should be in the corner with Julian Champagnie in the other, while Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox run two-man action together, trying to get Wemby the ball at that hub, nail on the free throw line. And then all of a sudden, they're having to wear a completely different hat. They were not up for that moment tonight. That was a little scary. And now they'll have some time to prepare knowing that Wemby's not available, but the lights were bright for those young kids in San Antonio. They got a crash course in what it takes to close out versus a team that has a Robert Williams III that's on the floor, right? That finish that he had at the rim, even though he missed a three and he missed a free throw. Drew Holiday, who looked like the vet of all vets out there. The way that hit CJ McCollum at Madison Square Garden the other night, that cool, calm presence, even if I'm not making the shot, of controlling the offense is such a valuable currency in these spots. Jeremy Grant, the Trailblazers looked like the more experienced team tonight in the way that they withstood the magnitude of the moment and the adversity of guys getting hurt, because Clingan got hurt there too. By the way, his three-pointers, when Clingan misses a three, it sounds like Omaha Beach. When it hits the backboard of the rim, I hear cannons going off from the USS Missouri. That is a spiral ham falling off of a kitchen counter onto the floor. You know the splat sound that it makes? That is Donovan Clingan shooting threes. That shit better go in. Otherwise, the ball might pop. Sorry. Questions? I didn't do a good job of reading the questions there. I need another beer. Every stream's an adventure. It's always something different. Tech issues, Lakers chalice, DeGrom shirt from the... You know, I used to tweet about the Mets every day. I was like one of the biggest Mets fans on Twitter back in 2013 or the magical season of 2015. My entire feed was like Yoenis Cespedes and Matt Harvey tweets only. How shit has changed. Are you guys going to participate in tonight's show, or do you just want to hear me yap? You haven't earned the lo-fi music yet, and we've got a completely different audience in here versus last night. Some of you probably don't even know about the after party. Luis asks, if Wemby is out for games 3 and 4, can the Blazers take both? Yeah, after what we saw tonight, for sure. Why would we count them out? Did you see my tweet? Bro, I got to pull this shit up. Did you see the shot charts? Did you see the shot charts of the second, third, and fourth quarter versus the first for the Blazers? Asking me, do they have a chance? Bro, they should probably be favored considering how the offense changes when that man is not on the floor, and it should be pretty obvious, right? No 7'4" guy to protect the rim. Well, last time I checked, Luke Cornett is not a bad option either. Let's not act like they're playing small ball where the Los Angeles Clippers have Terrence Mann out there or the Houston Rockets have PJ Tucker. No, they had Luke Cornett. They can go to a Kelly Olynyk or a Mason Plumlee. This is going to take a fucking eternity to load, but the shot charts, man, the way that the Blazers got to the rim, were shooting with confidence, not having to look over their shoulder, feeling that dark cloud presence of Victor Wembanyama, he changes everything. Everything. Okay, we're getting really close to my page finally loading. Hopefully the computer doesn't crash. I really want to go get a beer, but it's going to take me a second. Oh my God, this is going to take forever. Why did more people not get my Oregon Trail joke with Tom Dundon? That was my best joke. Best joke by far. Even a player texted me about that joke. But Gen Z doesn't know what the Oregon Trail video game is, and everyone on the internet is fucking Gen Z or Gen Alpha nowadays. They're just like, what does this mean? All the comments are like, what does this mean? Have you fucking kids not played Oregon Trail? That's a funny joke. Oh, I hate the fucking internet. Get up to speed with millennial humor. You guys listen to all of our music, all of our culture. The world was at its peak, its zenith in 1999. You're still out here wanting to go back using Polaroids because you like the vintage feel to it. Learn about the Oregon Trail. Jesus Christ, I'm getting another beer. Anyway, before I get up, check this shit out. I'm going to go through each of these. The first one you're going to see, this is the first one. This is from the first quarter. I'll be right back. Okay. I get cranky when the chalice runs low. I'll be happy now. Jack says, I'm a Zoomer, and your joke made me play it for the first time in years. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack. Is it that hard? The Lakers, chalice of life. Shit. Pour. You tilt with the pour. Tilt and pour. Tilt and pour to prevent the foam. Tilt and pour. Look at that fucking pour. Brilliant. Zero foam. Look at that. Okay, where were we? Here's your first quarter. Victor Wembanyama got concussed at the 9-minute mark in the second. What do you guys notice here? Obviously, the red X is a miss, and the blue circle is a make. Not only are there few blue circles in the paint, there's not that many attempts near the rim. Can we all agree? There's a lot of shots outside the three-point arc. Next, second quarter. Whoops. There are no former locusts in here, Max, because all the locusts are old now. You're all adults. We need new locusts. Second quarter. Does that look a little different to you guys? Here, we'll do a little comparison one more time. I'm going to click left. First quarter. Second quarter. Remember, Wemby played 3 minutes, nearly 3 minutes here. That's a lot more blue circles and a lot more attempts at the rim. Let's go to the third quarter now. All of a sudden, that blue circle density is getting quite intense inside of the restricted area. The Blazers are starting to feel really comfortable about finishing at the rim. Fourth quarter. Holy shit. It's all at the rim. The Robert Williams putback, Denny Avdia, you name it. This looks like a Daryl Morey mid-2010s shot chart. Threes and dunks only. This is what he envisioned with Dwight Howard and James Harden. Look at all of that action at the rim for the Portland Trailblazers. This right here is why they have a chance. Not just because of the San Antonio Spurs' inexperience without Wemby and lack of talent without Wemby, but Portland's ability to assert their influence inside of that little semicircle there in the middle of the screen is essential. And you're headed back to a Moda Center now, where role players always play better at home. That is a scientific fact, and it's supported by the king of role players that I do a daily show with, Antonio Daniels. You play better because that positive energy for role players that are only going out there for 15 to 20 minutes, it's as if you're on unlimited turbo. It's just different, he says. Your accuracy in a comfortable gym, you shoot better. So now those two X's in the corner might be blue circles. One of those is from Robert Williams, by the way. But you've got Denny going downhill, likely to start be the beneficiary of a home whistle. Now that he is, right? He is, without Victor Wembanyama, the main premier face on the billboard of this series. He's a borderline all-NBA player and most improved player candidate. He's going to be getting that superstar whistle because this series is now devoid of Victor Wembanyama. It's not going to be De'Aaron Fox with the way that he's been playing. That clutch player of the year feels like Jurassic Park. Stoney says the Lakers and Cavs are the only teams up 2-0. Destiny is calling. Well, OKC's about to be up 2-0. Chat's awfully quiet tonight. Are you guys, don't tell me you're getting exhausted. We've done 3 shows now in the last 3 nights. Are you getting late night with wob fatigue? You must be getting old, some of you locusts. 3 nights in a row, maybe I'll just skip this one. No. Been out here for decades. This shit won't stop. This is first round of the playoffs. It goes away after the postseason. Attendance is mandatory up in this bitch. I don't do this shit for my health. Thank you, Tony. I know you guys are just lurking and listening. I would prefer some questions if you have them. YouTube wants me to get in the hot tub. The hot tub is turned off. You're supposed to be out of the hot tub. I have one down there. Hot tub is, they came and they turned the lights off. Andrew says I'm old and I get it. Thank you. Drunk Sig says Joel and YouTube chat's going off right now, so I'm going to keep up with the YouTube chat because Twitter's fucking sleeping over here. Joel Embiid is questionable for Game 3. Will be incredible. If he comes running out of that tunnel, shit's going to be hype. Tyrese Maxey, man, so fucking good. I don't even like the Sixers, but I fucking love Maxey. Contagious energy, explosive as hell. My God, is he fast. He is Gen Z John Wall. Steve Kerr to become the Bulls' next president of basketball operations would be a very Reinsdorf move. It would be. Maybe something he does. Pimpin' in YouTube says, am I still standing on the Nuggets championship pick? Yeah. Yeah, YouTube's popping. Appreciate you, Mr. Duck fan. Oh, now Twitter's starting. They're losing attention, so now they're starting to hold on. Let me catch up here. Go to sleep casuals. And Chris Moore says the Suns are winning tomorrow. I'll take your action on that. Ortiz says, "Is this the only chat?" No, there's a stream on YouTube as well. I'm reading both, but you guys are you're getting blazered by YouTube over here. Do the Rockets still have a chance? Sure. Maybe if their fans actually show up for tip-off for the first time in the last 10 years. Why is the Toyota Center always so empty at tip-off? That is a rich tradition and a passionate fan base of every professional team in that city. Texans, Astros, go down the list. There's soccer teams. Why do they show up on time for those games and not the Rockets? What happened to Clutch City? What happened to the days of the Summit? Show up and create an atmosphere for your guys because they clearly need that positive reinforcement. I know I'm not tripping on that. I can show you so many examples of that place being half empty at tip-off during the regular season. I don't want to hear about Houston traffic and all that bullshit. Public transportation exists, and it ain't as bad as LA. Laker fans show up sitting on the 105 and the 110 for 4 hours. Sig says in the YouTube chat, VJ is the youngest player to drop 30 points, 10 rebounds in the playoffs, beating another guard named Magic Johnson. Not bad. What has JJ figured out about Kennard that other teams haven't? No, he's just prioritizing Kennard in floating around like a free safety, but on offense. LeBron is creating with his gravity, and he is able to still be LeBron enough that you have to send help. And that Houston Rockets defense is elite. They should be able to hold their own without sending help on a 41-year-old LeBron, but his dribble penetration is still drawing multiple defenders. And then Luke Kennard is there. He was shooting shots tonight like Klay Thompson, where he's already in the shooting form before the ball touches his fingertips. That shit that Terry Gannon was making fun of on the broadcast in the second quarter. No, I'm sorry. It was in the third quarter. He was like, hold on a second. Luke Kennard's now shooting even before he gets the ball. He most certainly was. Nito King says, as a Celtics fan, I'm not worried about the series, but tonight sealed our championship chances. We don't have what it takes to win 4 rounds with this roster. Tatum has to carry 11 months post-Achilles. That's a terrible comment. I'm sorry. Listen, the Boston Celtics get up 53s a night. There's going to be variance with them. They shot like shit. They were sub 30%. When you shoot that many threes, there are going to be occasional nights. And Boston doesn't play well at home usually in the playoffs anyway. They don't shoot the ball well. There's going to be nights where they just stink it up. But the Celtics play a basketball math equation. And you can't beat them 4 out of 7 times with the advantage that they usually have from beyond the arc. They'll be just fine. Can they beat the Knicks? Another story, but this series, they'll take care of business. Absolutely. Max, why are you bouncing between YouTube and Twitter? Are you on both right now? I appreciate you, but I see you in both. Dundon being this cheap is going to have an effect on team culture. I think the Blazers are certainly capable of being competent in the playoffs, but I'm worried based on the decisions made so far. Now, okay. Because the Carolina Hurricanes, despite being the 2010s Dallas Mavericks, where they're always like the 1 seed, and then they fall short 2000s Dallas Mavericks before eventually the Dirk Nowitzki team won the championship. They remind me of like the Indianapolis Colts in the 2000s. Peyton Manning would always have the number 1 team in the AFC, and they'd fall short until he ultimately won. The Carolina Hurricanes are a very Spirit Airlines franchise, is what I'm told in the NHL. And now he wants to run this business the same way. So before, I'm going to crack jokes because they're funny. But if we're being serious, something tells me that Dundon, who does have experience running professional franchises before, knows what he's doing, and there is a plan to reallocate that money somewhere else. Here's a good example. Did you guys see what happened with the New Orleans Pelicans in the last couple of days? Probably not. Like, why would you? They're not in the playoffs, and you have to be really inside baseball to know what's going on. But their entire staff has been either let go, laid off, fired, or just let their contracts expire. And because they are similarly going through some cost-cutting measures, as well as trying to bring in Joe Dumars, who's going to be every single position. I'm talking training staff. I'm talking shot doctors. I'm talking equipment managers. They let their 30-plus year equipment manager go today as well. The only people that are safe are Antonio and Joel Myers on the broadcast. Dundon's going to come in there. He's going to strip down for parts, and then he's going to reallocate that money somewhere else. We don't know where that money is going. So when we see that there's going to be no T-shirts for Game 3, guys, I know you think that is him being cheap. Teams don't even pay for the T-shirts. You want to know how I know this? This DeGrom T-shirt right here, New York Mets, I got at a game in the mid-2010s. Do you know why? I think this may have even been pre-Steve Cohen. This was a Wilpon. Do you know why these T-shirts exist? Because of Jake's Hotel and Casino. When T-shirts get given out as a promotion at a game, there's a sponsor who likely pays for them. And even if the franchise is fronting the bill, when you're ordering 20,000 shirts, 25,000 shirts, because you're ordering in bulk, these things probably cost like $1 a piece. $25,000 is how much the air conditioner costs to run inside the arena for 30 fucking minutes. It's a drop in the bucket. So no, this isn't a cost-cutting measure. It's just the way that he runs business. So make fun of him now. Get your jokes off like I did. I'm not going to tell you don't do that because then I'd be a hypocrite. I like participating and making fun of stupid shit too. But Tom Dundon will at some point say, get in front of a microphone, this is why we did this. And now you should fall into line. It's just Joe Mazzulla's stubbornness and lack of adjustments. What? What worked in game one didn't work tonight, so why we just give up and allow open three after open? Do you think they wanted to give up open three after open three? They were hitting tough shots all night. Not sustainable when White and Pritchard are ghosts, I guess, but you make it sound so easy. Do you think the Celtics were just letting those guys get up open looks from three? Tyrese Maxey in secondary transition. Paul George was pretty fucking tough in the half court tonight. And then you got Edwards, you got Oubre, you had Andre Drummond attacking the rim on second chance opportunities. I thought they out-hustled Boston tonight. They came with a lot more energy than they did in game one. And usually Boston neutralizes that with three-point power. And they certainly got up some threes. They were behind by what felt like 8 points in perpetuity for a majority of that second half. They won the third quarter by 1 point, and it was just 7-point deficit. 7-point deficit, and then they caught fire. Jason Tatum hit a three. Jaylen Brown hit a three. All of a sudden, it's tied, and it's like, here comes Boston. And then Tyrese Maxey just said, enough from the clown. Oh, Twitter, I forgot you were here. Whoa, lots of chats. Hold on. When I see the Nard dog hitting middies, Lakers offense is flowing. What do you guys think of JJ Redick? And don't tell me he's a good coach because he's got his boys like motivated and shit. Talk to me about schemes. What are you seeing that has these guys in an advantageous position? Do I think Jalen Duren bounces back? He's got a formidable challenge because those Orlando Magic want to strap themselves with brass knuckles and say, let's fucking go. Wendell Carter Jr. and Goga Batadze, they enjoy rock fights. No more of that physical dominance from Jalen Duren that he grew accustomed to in the regular season. That shit's out of here. Dorian Finney-Smith tonight, 0 minutes and 0 points on 0% true shooting percentage after the Rockets gave him a 4-year, $53 million contract, and it's a revenge series for him. Still zeros. Zero, as my radio partner Sam Mitchell says, 0, 0, 0, 0. What's my take on the job that Thiago Splitter has done this year? How can you say it's anything other than a success? He knows exactly what the team's strengths are. He puts them in a spot to utilize them. He's got his vets now. This has been, I know we're only through the first 2 games of the playoffs, but my takeaways from all of these games, man, is when they're tight, like how necessary it is to have a CJ McCollum, a Drew Holiday, someone that can get everyone into formation. There's so much chaos that's been happening, but these teams that have been able to get high quality possessions and looks have all succeeded. Paul George is one of the most underrated defenders in the league this year. He's been huge for us. Well, minus those 25 games he was out due to doing illegal drugs, sure. Eat More Tacos is asking, who do we actually have to blame for the Lakers playing a home playoff game with the City Edition jersey in court? That was disgusting. So the Knicks did that in game 2. The Celtics wore their traditional away greens tonight against Philadelphia's home whites. The Lakers wearing those ridiculous Los Angeles that's written like something out of word art from the Windows 95 Microsoft Word days. Lakers have. So, like, here, okay. Thank you for asking. Thank you for that, chat. Because now I get to bitch. Let me take a swig of the chalice before I bitch. As someone who considers themselves what's the proper term? I feel like I understand the business of the NBA quite well and the business of basketball. I'm also well-traveled. One of the benefits of being single and 38 is for the past 4 years, any opportunity I get, I just disappear like Brad Pitt in Legends of the Fall. Tristan just decides to leave. He'll be back in a couple of years. I travel. I've seen many places. I'm headed to Vietnam this summer. Looking forward to that. And Ireland as well. But I've been to some pretty remote places. For example, Malta in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. When you walk around a market in Malta, somewhere in Europe, even in Asia, Japan, that's not as remote, but I'm just like naming countries right now. If you walk down the street, I will almost guarantee that you will see one of 3 pieces of sports apparel / memorabilia. Someone will be wearing a Lakers or Celtics jersey or hat or the New York Yankees. I once took a boat to some island right off of Malta where they had a little market. And this market was selling hats and just things. It was Yankees, Celtics, and Lakers, and that was it. Everything was Yankees, Celtics, Lakers. I go to a cafe at the top of that hill in Lisbon, Portugal, where the castle is right next door. You got to hike all the way up those fucking stairs. There's this wonderful little cafe next to one of their most precious churches. And I sit down at a table. Next to me is a guy just decked out in Celtics gear. Everywhere I have been across the world, the NBA's influence is felt on a level, to me, close to, not above, but close to soccer, UEFA Champions League. People are wearing Ronaldo and Messi jerseys everywhere, obviously. Even now it's Kylian Mbappe. We know how big football is across the world. But the NBA's North American professional sports influence is all NBA or the New York Yankees. So when I see those jerseys or those things, those items for sale, it is always the traditional Laker golds with the purple trim, or the Celtics traditional greens. Never, ever will you see a city edition uniform. Ever. And they change those city edition uniforms every single season. The only reason why they sell them is because little kids don't understand what tradition is, because they've only been on this planet for between 7 and 12 years. So they see something new, shiny, and bright, and they want it. And there is an Excel spreadsheet somewhere in Midtown Manhattan at the NBA's executive office that says, this is selling well, you should keep doing it. So they keep pushing these city edition uniforms despite most people despising them. Just because it's new and kids want them, that's the only reason why they're for sale. But any adult or appreciator of NBA history is looking for traditional garments, especially internationally. All you see is the traditional uniforms, the purple and gold, the green and white. You get some Knicks blue, orange, and white. New York Yankees, they're not trotting out no damn city edition uniforms other than like July 4th weekend or whenever the fuck the MLB does that. You know what you're getting, the pinstripes, the NY. I would love for my New York Mets to be recognized like that, but they suck ass. My point here is wearing city edition uniforms when you are one of those longtime traditional NBA franchises is insulting. It is degrading the brand power that you built around this Lakers franchise for nearly 2 straight decades around Showtime, Magic Johnson, Kareem, James Worthy. No one's going to identify with Los Angeles in some black, purple, gold bullshit that's going to go away next year. Now, I feel okay with sharing this because it's already public, and the uniforms it's not a secret anymore. Do you guys remember when I went up to Utah and I did an interview with Ryan Smith, who, to his credit, this is the owner of the Utah Jazz. To his credit, finally, someone who gets it and someone who actually cares and is not just doing this to flip a franchise and make money. He's trying to make the state of Utah attractive and make it fun. I can appreciate someone with attention to detail like that he has. When I went up there during All-Star Weekend in 2023, I got to see the uniforms that he was preparing 2 years down the road, where they were going to be bringing back the Purple Mountains and stuff, because he's like, I know you'll like this. Come check this shit out. And then he showed me in the warehouse, like Nike is preparing these in mass for us, but they're not going to be ready for 2 years. The Jazz going back to the Purple Mountains and the look from the 90s where they came running out of the tunnels with Stockton and Malone and Hornacek, and they've got the Jazz written on the back and that logo. Their jerseys nowadays are a new spin on that traditional look. And how that has resonated with fans that are like, we want the purple, not the highlighter yellow. That highlighter yellow was just a complete swing for the fences on something that was different to see if it lands with the fan base. And while it probably still sold some jerseys and shit, people spoke with their wallets and they told Ryan, who's the master of surveys because he originally started Qualtrics, we want purple. And then he brought back the purple. And despite the team not performing well, I think I can confidently say that the fans kind of walk around like, at least we look good. I hate that the Los Angeles Lakers are trotting out some branding that they're probably going to ditch next year. And they're only doing it because there's a minimum requirement of appearances by Nike where they want to get these city edition uniforms in front of the public eye because they're trying to get rid of their inventory before you ultimately change the model. I hate that business, man. And I hate that because there's probably some success on an Excel spreadsheet somewhere, someone's like, this is working. My job is to make sure that this number is black and not red. And one person out there who's trying to protect their job is like, we should keep doing this when it is detrimental to tradition that you have built now over 40 and 50 years. You've been around long enough where the NBA brand fucking matters. It may not matter in the United States as much as the NFL or college football, but internationally it matters, man. And every time the Lakers go out there and wear those uniforms at home, you are slowly siphoning away the impact that brand has with current and new generations. Because yes, they may buy the jersey, but they are not going to grow up thinking that the Lakers were golds at home, purple and golds on the road. Thank you for letting me preach and complain. And good question. What series do I think has the highest chance of going 7 games? Minnesota, Denver. Banger. What a fucking banger of a series. PG? Wait, it was ketamine? Why he got suspended? I didn't know that was the actual drug. Or are you just making that up? Yes, eat more tacos. You are someone who obviously is a man of culture. Branding, you say branding matters, and only thing that the Bulls haven't fucked up yet. The Bulls wear their other uniforms, the mandated minimum, city editions, alternates. As soon as they are done with the assignment, they go back to wearing the traditional whites and the traditional reds. Oh, the Chicago Bulls, I'm so thankful for you. Someone in the chat said, I've been to 8 countries now, and Kazakhstan is my most obscure. I would love to go to Kazakhstan. That sounds like a great place to get drunk at. I'm going to have a great time getting drunk in Vietnam because they serve food that I love, which is like meat, soup, noodles, and baguettes and beer. And it's going to be hot as fuck. Beer. Mr. Ducks fan says at Coachella, I didn't see the city edition uniforms, but I saw a bunch of yellow Laker jerseys plus Celtics too. Yeah, no veggies in Vietnamese food. There's the green stuff is like herbs, sorry. It's like cilantro. It's not real vegetables. Oh, Nuggets. Nuggets had the 52-80 court. The city editions in Game 6, the Julian Strawther game, 52-80. Guess what wasn't around this year? 52-80 branding. Get the fuck out of here. This is how pompous Americans are. That we think people are going to know what 5280 is when we're the only fucking country that has inches, feet, and miles. It's meters and kilometers. In everywhere else in the world, kilometers. Sorry, too many fucking chalices tonight. Kilometers and meters. And yet 5280, you know that's a mile high. What the fuck is a mile if I'm from like the South Pacific? What the fuck is a mile? Y'all are trying to like educate me on North American metrics? Who does that resonate with outside of the United States? In Serbia, the other country that's watching the most Nuggets games, and they see 5280 printed on the court. What the fuck does that mean? What is a mile high? Who gets that? Only the people in Denver. Who is signing off on this shit? That's all I got. Any other questions? Otherwise, we can get out of here early tonight. We don't need to be up until 1:30. I barely got any sleep. I still haven't watched 60 Minutes on Sunday. I haven't watched the world news yet. I have many boomer activities I need to complete. Chat is awfully quiet after a Laker game. Maybe you guys are just enjoying me bitching and yapping. If the Rockets get swept, Ime's in trouble. The two coaches in the most trouble are Jamal Mosley and Ime Udoka. Similar to transfer portal issues in college sports, no one will associate athletes in school soon. Yeah, everything's free agency. Players are not known for their universities anymore. They're sole proprietorships. Am I watching The Boys? I would love to. I would love to go watch that episode. Y'all don't even know about Elizabeth Shue, by the way. So Elizabeth Shue, the woman that Homelander, well, I don't want to spoil it. Well, that's from season 1. Okay, that's not a spoiler. The woman that Homelander killed in season 1. She descends, shows her tits. Elizabeth Shue was the icon when I was growing up. Oh my God. Cocktail with Tom Cruise. Karate Kid. Elizabeth Shue was number 1 on the hall pass and still might be to this day. What a casting job by the boys. Love Elizabeth Shue. Do kids even know that that's her? Or is it just some old lady that Homelander loves milking? Did I watch Clavicular 60 Minutes? I haven't watched 60 Minutes yet this weekend. I don't know what that. Clavicular. Is that a company? Did I watch The Pit? Of course. Is the Pope Catholic? If Noah Wiley's in it, I'm watching it. John Wells is directing it. I'm watching it. I don't think Wob needs to know about clavicle. Is it clavicle or clavicular? Someone in the YouTube chat said clavicular. If this is some like Zoomer influencer, don't even fucking try. These poor Zoomer influencers are so fucked by society. Their only way of earning is becoming like TikTok influencers. And God bless them, but you will not be getting my views. I don't even have TikTok. It sounds like a TikToker. Everything is like a day in the life content. They have no other choice. It's a 6 figures to go to college and degrees are worthless. There's no jobs anymore. They got to go online and like create content in ridiculous ways. Not for me, but God bless. Go make your money. Clavicular, only the most popular streamer in the world. That does not sound. Isn't that Mr. Beast? And what's the kid's name on the athlete? Is he on Twitch, the Speed guy? I know about Speed and Mr. Beast. They seem more popular. I was on a flight with Logan Paul. It's so funny how he's like sitting right next to him. Like the moment he gets off the plane, he's surrounded by WWE security, but he's so much more normal when he's in a community setting. It's on a flight from, it was Vegas to LA because of WrestleMania. I know who Logan Paul is, but he's a little bit older, right? I called his fight for DAZN. That was like the first real big celebrity boxing match that I flew out for. DAZN hired me to do commentary with Ryan Garcia, and we did the simulcast. That's a weird era in WOB history, by the way. I did the post-game show of Mayweather and McGregor with Andre Berto, and then I did KSI versus Logan Paul with Ryan Garcia. I was like turning into Chris Mannix for a year. Yeah, this career has taken me a lot of weird places. But yes, I love being a boomer and not knowing who any of these Zoomer influencers are. No clue. Not that, again, I encourage you to go make your money. You need to go make as much money as possible. One of the most important things my agents told me was like, take the money, do your creative projects after you can afford to fund them. Thank the Lord, because I was thinking about not taking a couple of gigs early in my career. I would be regretting the shit out of that because I wanted to maintain like the creative branding of what I was doing. They're like, take the fucking money, you idiot. Got it. You got it. That was a smart move because now you can go do creative stuff and fund it yourself. If you ever get an opportunity to be compensated for creating content, please take the money and then worry about the cool stuff later. There's a reason why a lot of these Hollywood stars, they get hired by directors and producers to do studio movies, and then at the end of their careers, they start working on their passion projects. And I get it now. I get it. He's the looks max dude, if you've ever heard that slang going around. Looks max. Looks max dude. What is looks? What does that mean? You're going to have to speak to me like I'm learning English for the first time. Looks max. And why is there 2 X's? Is that like triple X? You guys are saying things I just don't understand. I don't want to read these comments because you might be trolling me and trying to get me canceled for saying something I'm not allowed to say. You guys are trolling me. He's the worst one. He was on 60 Minutes and stormed out of the interview. 60 Minutes, the 60 Minutes I'm about to watch interviews an influencer. That's interesting. I mean, I'll watch it because 60 Minutes would not be wasting their time with someone that's not. They've been ahead of the curve on all this shit. On prediction markets, they interviewed the calcium or the poly market guy. Who's the defense contractor? The Planeteer guy. He promotes supplements and plastic surgeries. Yeah, well, I don't know what to say. The whole chat on Twitter is saying stay away from this. Stay away, Wob. It's not worth it, Wob. Okay, I promise you, the moment that we're done here, I'm going to go watch 60 Minutes and World News Tonight. And I'm going to take a shower and go to bed. If this clavicle guy is on 60 Minutes, I'll learn about him then. I don't watch 60 Minutes Australia. It has to be the one here in the United States. We only know TJ Maxx around here. You're right. He hammers his guys. You were saying things that I just don't even know what to relate to. You were talking to someone that lives in the water without a car and takes a kayak to get back to civilization. I have to take a kayak to get over to where the road is. I'm disconnected from society. I'm too old for this shit. But I sit here and watch a lot of basketball. And I am getting a new computer, which I'm excited about tomorrow. If a chase does happen, I'm going to have to load in all of the Twitch OBS stuff, which may take. So we'll bootleg chases for one more day, but then we'll be back. He hammers his jaw. All right, this is just someone who's trying to draw attention. I never knew Madeline from The Boys was Allie from Karate Kid. I remembered her from Back to the Future. Elizabeth Shue Hive. That was, I'd say my top three for a majority of my life was Elizabeth Shue, Elizabeth Hurley. Who else would I put? Kate Beckinsale's probably on there for a while. Yeah. Oh, no, it's got to be like Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie. She's probably the third hall pass. Everyone's got to have a hall pass. Like if you're married, you have to have a celebrity hall pass. That's just fun. That's 3 people that you're allowed to hook up with while in a marriage, if you ever get the opportunity. We're well past NBA talk at this point. Just like last night. Once we get through an hour, the chat starts shifting to weird topics. Didn't she make an OnlyFans? Elizabeth Shue? No, she would never. She better not have. Go watch Cocktail. Go watch Cocktail. If you want some culture, go watch Cocktail. If you don't walk out of that theater in love, God bless you. Oh, could Steve Kerr be an option for the Sonics in what, 2028? We got to get NBA Europe done first. Before we do United, at least they put out the renderings of the Vegas arena, which looks sick. It's got its own airport. So every time I go back home, I have a place in Vegas now. And the Tropicana is the A stadium that's on the south side of the strip, and they're going to be building something connected to the airport. It's got 18,000 parking spaces. And if they're granted the franchise, because they won't be playing in T-Mobile, I assume because of the Aces and the Vegas Golden Knights, as well as all the concerts and stuff, and the boxing, they're going to get their own arena. And there's already an NBA-ready arena in Henderson because of the G League Ignite. That's just going to go unused. They may play there before the arena's built. That's my guess if they expedite expansion. Oh, I saw that. I saw the news that Shannon Elizabeth might be going to OnlyFans. Why, Shannon? Why? How much did you lose at the poker table? She got cleaned up in the mid-2000s, but she should have enough that she's okay. Don't be going to OnlyFans. You are too pristine with millennials, Nadia. Do I think Vegas will grow a real fan base, or will it be a lot of tourists filling the arena? Are you kidding me? Have you seen how the Knights and Aces, the Raiders are a little different because they're a national brand, but Vegas, man, is incredible market. That and Idaho are the two most immigrated, transplant, people moving out of other states to move to them, mostly for economic purposes. But every time I go back to Vegas, there's a whole nother community that's been built on my way home. Yeah, no, Knights games are incredible. There's always something going on in Vegas. Always, man. Vibes are essential. And what people don't understand is living in Vegas, I'm 30 minutes from the strip, 30 to 40. People don't live on the strip. If you're going to live on the strip, you live at a place called the Veer Towers, which is attached to Aria. It's super nice apartments. Some of them are even furnished. They have a rooftop and a pool. But most people live in either Summerlin, Green Valley, or Henderson. And it's pretty damn normal over there. Quite enjoyable. Affordable. Get housing. No problem compared to here in California. All right. This has been fun. But I think the Lakers' chalice of life must say goodnight. Probably will be the last episode of the week, 3 nights in a row. Shout out to Profit X, by the way. Thanks as always for sponsoring this stream. If you have any sports investing needs, you know where to go. Shout out to Rui Hachimura, who got that rebound with 8 seconds left. Made it a great night. I probably wouldn't have gone live. I'd be cranky because I had a lot of money on that. Thank you for getting your 5th rebound off of a shanked 3 in garbage time. I gotta show it to you. Before we go, I gotta show it to you because it's just so ridiculous. I'm gonna have to bootleg it. It's gonna look terrible, but here we go. Watch this rebound. Seven seconds left. That was his 5th rebound and got to the over. I'll fucking take it. Over 4.5. I took over 4.5 at minus 190 at the start of the 4th quarter, and I correctly guessed that he would play the entirety of the quarter, and he just stumbled into a rebound, and it didn't come until the final 7 seconds. Crazy. Thank you, Profit X. Yes, thank you, Profit X. Thank you, Shohei. Never forget that. 40-1. 40-1 to win MVP with the Angels. 40-1. Thank you, Shohei, for the Vegas house. On that note, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys if there's a reason worth coming back for, but Lakers 2-0. Knicks will get game 3. Tomorrow is going to be 2 blowouts. Detroit, I'll take Detroit, and Oklahoma City big. And I'll be back if there's anything to talk about. I'm going to go watch 60 Minutes. Bye-bye.